Hello, everybody, and good day, good day. I know I'm late, real late, but yeah, we had to do it. We had to do it. We had to make our comment on this viral video. Stay tuned, everybody.
Welcome to Pastor O'Neill's Review Zone podcast. We are glad that you decided to join us today. This podcast focuses on reviewing topics like movies, music videos, audio clips, and even relationships, so sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to Pastor O'Neill's Review Zone.
Everybody, so good day, good day. Whichever time that you are watching this video, and yeah, we had to do it because we all concerned about the family. We are all concerned about the family. We are all concerned about people getting into correct relationships and our attitudes towards relationships. After all, it is only the building block of our society. After all, it only affects your entire life. After all, it only affects your your psyche for the rest of your life. It depends now on if you're going to spend, the rest of your life not wasting, but carrying a lot of your money to the psychologist. It is only that. Yeah. So, my friends, when we are deciding to date, when we are deciding to go on a relationship, to get into a relationship, our attitude plays a great deal. In fact, most people concerned about their looks more than their attitude and how they reason out things. So I'm going to, because most of us already know about this viral video, I am not going to play the whole thing and then go through and do. I am going to do a kind of stop and go commentary. All right. And let's make some points along the line. And I trust that you will appreciate our standpoint. And even if you don't, at least it's something to take a look at. So let's get into this viral video and take a look at some things.
He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car.
All right. So the very first thing is the guy decides to take her on a first date. And it turns out that the Cheesecake Factory, which we don't have here in Trinidad and Tobago, but he decides to take her to the Cheesecake Factory. Now, one of the things is, I am not a woman, but I am a human being. And as a human being, one of the things that you would appreciate is the fact that this guy takes the time to invest in you. He takes the time to invest in you and to carry you to a place where both of you all can get to know each other and understand each other. He has an interest in you, all right, because he finds you attractive or he finds you interesting or whatever he finds, and he decides to carry you to a place. That in itself warrants, some appreciation. You should, at least as a human being, we're not even talking about male and female here, as a human being, appreciate the fact that this guy decides to carry you to a place, all right, so that both of you can get to know each other. This young lady, her ego, and people talk about men's ego, but her ego is out of this world. She feels that she is the cat's meow. She thinks that she is the hottest thing since sliced bread. And to be honest, she is not even on a scale of 1 to 10. In my book, she's not even a 5. All right. So humility is seriously lacking from this young lady. Let's continue.
Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Look.
Are you're recording me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
So yeah, her ego is way off the charts. Listen, this guy, and judging from the vehicle that he picked her up in, could have picked any person that is 1,000 times better looking, but he chose to go with her. And she is recording this whole thing to her audience. All right. He's recording this whole thing. Now, a lot of people saying that you have to know your worth. And listen, you can know your worth. But going to any particular place, listen, a walk on the beach would have been just fine. Going to get a cup of coffee would have been just fine. Going and buying some food out of a food truck would have been just fine. But he wants to, put it to sit down in a nice place with a nice ambience, and nothing is wrong with a chain food restaurant, all right, and all of that. But her attitude is way out. So, as men, listen to this. A woman's attitude, how she views things, how she views herself, is quite important. Could you imagine now her raising a child in this type of environment here? Listen, he would be in a lot of problems. He would be in a lot of problems having to raise a child with this young lady here. All right, because her attitude towards things, her attitude towards herself, her ego is way too big. Her attitude towards the whole experience is this. I don't want to use the word given because I don't like that expression at all. But her attitude is just being very, very selfish. She doesn't even care about what he thinks. Doesn't even care.
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Oh, okay.
Okay. So,
yes, let's talk about it. About it.
So you expect a man to go all out on the first date. Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I
At the
went
Cheesecake
into this
Factory?
date as
Protection, courting, treating her well, right? That's it. That's the three things that she said. It's supposed to court her because she's accustomed to being courted. This is courting. He picked you up, very good car. He protects you. He brings you safely. He even left the driver's seat. The car is still running. Come over to your side to open the door for you. But you decide to be bougie and your attitude is just totally ridiculous. And now you want to talk about protecting and courting and the fact that he took you to the Cheesecake Factory. There are a million young ladies around this world would have been totally appreciative of a man picking you up from home and bringing you to any place whatsoever, opening the door for you. But no, you decide that you are the cat's meow. You are the hottest thing since sliced bread. You feel that you better than the man himself. All right. And you wasn't even appreciative of the efforts that he take to take you out. Fellas, if it was me, and I am sure a lot of other guys outside there, this trick was going to stay right there. As a matter of fact, it wasn't going nowhere. Nowhere at all.
I expect with the expectations for myself to keep you safe, you know, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but I mean,
and then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date.
This guy was way too nice, to be honest. This guy was way too nice. But he kept his composure, because one of the things that we recognize today is that in this whole world, women seem to have all of the say, and guys are just strung along for, are just dragged along. What men think is of no consequence. They don't consider what men think. What a man expects is of no consequence. Women don't care what a man thinks. They don't care what he says. They don't care if he have expectation. It's all about her. And in my estimation, you could never have a good relationship with that sort of thinking. Never.
I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative. And at least,
what did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, like, even like when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay.
I don't know you.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
Okay.
When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too.
Wow. Are we seeing the entitlement in this whole scenario here? This guy went out of the way to come home by you, and all of that. And you didn't invite him in. You don't even want to hold his hand or anything like that. She finds it's too early. Well, all right. Let's give him that. But her whole entitlement attitude, and this is not even princess, because princesses know how to treat somebody, and they know how to respond to being treated well as well. So this isn't in princess attitude at all. This is grouchy. This is mean. This is disrespectful. And I wasn't going on any date with anybody who is disrespectful to me. She was staying right there.
We're not
again.
I don't
we're
know
not there
yet. Okay.
I don't know yet.
And then, but
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself all made
There's
up.
nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Getting yourself all made up. Let's talk about that. Ladies, your physical appearance is what attracts a guy to you. Your physical appearance is what attracts a guy to you. That does not keep a man. That does not make you special. The Bible even says beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised, right? And you have absolutely no respect for this guy whatsoever. I got myself all made up, and that's her entire point. Even at the beginning of the video, she said, who takes a woman to the Cheesecake Factory who looks like this? She doesn't even dress the best, in my opinion. I don't know what you all think. You can leave your comments down below. Maybe you can troll me, that's all right. But I don't think she dressed the best at all. All right. She just basically best put something together, and the guy must just take that. All right. The guy says he has expectations, and a lot of women don't even believe that. And some of you all, and most of you all, want to know, well, why did this guy ghost me? I think that we had a good date. I think, why did he ghost me? Your attitude. Change your attitude. Be appreciative. Be thankful. Be grateful that somebody at least investing time and money to go on a first date. I will tell guys, listen, do not invest no set of money on any woman on a first date. Do not. And if she expects that from you, scratch that and thank God that you dodge a bullet, because this person is materialistic and do not take candle to see in the dark what you can see clearly in the day. Let's continue.
Okay, well, look at
I mean,
look at my planner where we were gonna go originally.
see, now that's where we should have went. Ari, right there. Call
See-
him. Call him.
No,
What do you mean no?
see,
I know
I
you
specifically
didn't.
told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 a.m. At 4 p.m. Right? And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs.
I understand.
For an hour, right?
But I wasn't expecting for work to take me so long. I got home a little late. And like I said, I don't know you well enough to invite you up into my apartment.
And
That is
So she don't know him well enough to invite him up to her apartment. Understood, because this is a first date, right? And as a woman, and I will let everybody know that, as a woman, you need to basically protect yourself and take every precaution. I agree with that. But the fact that your work take late, you couldn't have called the guy and said, listen, I do apologize. My work is taking late and I am going to be a little bit late. You didn't have that kind of courtesy. The guy came, you all discussed the time of picking up and everything, right? He came to you at the time that was discussed and you didn't come down for a whole hour. Of course, you're going to lose the reservation, all right, of the place that you were supposed to go. So the guy did everything that he was supposed to do, but your sense of entitlement, and it just goes to show how she looks at him. And guys, if you have a woman who looks at you this way, who her attitude towards you is like this, I am telling you, leave that at the side. She is not going to change. She is not going to, because she meets with you, change her whole attitude. All right. You have got to listen when people tell you who they are, or better yet, when people show you who they are, believe them. And this woman is showing that she is very selfish, right? She's myopic. She only considers herself. She doesn't take into consideration all the things that the guy is doing for her. She doesn't take that into consideration at all. And if you have somebody like this going on a date, my recommendation for you, don't even bother.
not possible.
And that's why I'm saying, I'm thinking, okay, if we're not there in the relationship to, meet at your apartment, then maybe we're not ready in a relationship for such a nice, fancy restaurant as Aria. Especially if I'm paying for the whole thing, which I'm still willing to do. I would have been,
Okay.
but if we're late, I told you
we weren't
twice.
late. It wasn't that late.
We literally left your place at the time the reservation was supposed to be. And I specifically said 4 because maybe we could get there early and even have some time to get to know each other on the way there and while we're in the parking lot.
This guy was way too nice. He planned out everything. He had a very exquisite restaurant, but because she was late, they couldn't get the reservation to that restaurant at all. All right. He had everything planned out. He wants to get to know her. Notice that. He wants to get to know her, but she doesn't want to get to know him. Guys, take note. And women, if this is your attitude, shame on you.
I'm waiting for a reservation.
We can still get to know each other. Isn't there another restaurant you can call that,
No.
equivalent to that? I
literally
you don't
just said-
understand. Look at me. I cannot go in the Cheesecake Factory.
There's nothing wrong with
I
that.
will die. That's
Okay.
embarrassing.
Listen, as I said, I have very specific certain expectations for that.
No.
I can tell it's not gonna be there. And maybe we're not right for each other. So respectfully, I'm gonna just drop you off at home.
Bravo. Bravo. Yeah. 2 thumbs up. Bravo. Fellas, take note. He was respectful. He didn't use any expletives. He was very, very calm. He kept his composure. He told her, listen, I have expectations as well. And if you don't live up to those expectations, it is not going to work out. And I applaud this guy. 2 thumbs up, my brother.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I'm up.
So you just want to call it a night? I mean,
Yeah.
isn't there some kind of compromise or something? Ladies, can you believe this?
Now, he was willing to compromise right through. He still picked her up, although she was an hour late. Although she didn't invite him up to say, all right, well, hold on a little bit downstairs while I get ready. Nothing like that. He brought her to a place she didn't want to compromise. She wants him to compromise, but when it comes to her compromising, she doesn't want it. I don't think she even knows what compromise means. Compromise means, ladies, that you do not get things your way all the time. And if you're interested in getting into a relationship, you're going to have to give a little, and he would have to give a little. Obviously, in this scenario, the guy did give a lot, not just a little. He did give a lot, in spite of all the negative things that he saw. He was still interested to get to know this young lady. That means a lot. Yeah, that means a lot. In spite of all the bad things that could have made him strike this date off, he still decided to go with you. But you, on the other hand, was not willing to give up your foolish stance, which is, in my estimations, is totally ridiculous. And guys, as I am saying, if a woman comes to you with this type of attitude, leave them right there by the door. Don't even bother, because it's just going to get worse as things go along. Now, could you imagine that this is a first date and this is her attitude? Could you imagine when they get comfortable and they begin to know each other and all that kind of thing, what the kind of hell that this guy is going to go through? And then women want to talk. And then on top of that, if they end up getting married, she's going to take half of his stuff. It doesn't work. It does not worth it, my brothers. It's not worth it whatsoever. Leave that right there, and I applaud this guy. Carry her right back home and leave her right where you picked her up.
I'm sorry, y'all.
He just pulled
But
out of the parking space.
if I don't feel
Can you
respected,
see?
I
mean-
am not gonna go through with the rest of the day.
Well, I mean, you are serious. You really leaving?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't want this place anyway, right?
I mean, I understand that I was late. I understand that. I understand that I could have been a bit more cooperative. You made some good points. That's why I'm willing to compromise. Are you sure you?
No, she willing to compromise when she recognized that the guy is serious. You see? And fellas, you have got to teach people how to treat you. Certain things, do not put up with it. All right? And do not look to walk along the aisle after, and this is just a first date. Right? This is just a first date. Some people bypass all of this because the girl looks good, and she's might be a hottie or a baddie, as we just call it. Listen, you see, attitude determines your altitude. And her attitude right now, she's below the ground.
You want to go home?
I don't have a lot of rules. I don't have a lot of expectations for a first date, but I've already set them, and you've broken every one.
Oh
So,
my God.
Wow.
I'm sorry. We're dropping you off home.
All right, whatever. Well, I mean, I guess I understand. You got to do what you got to do. I understand where you're coming from.
And that's basically it there for this video. Leave your comments below, people. Let me know what your stance is on this particular instance. But this guy is 100% correct, and I applaud him for his stance. Do not allow women, don't care how good they look, all right, to disrespect you or to disrespect your stance on things. All right. This guy obviously was from a right upbringing. He didn't use any sort of profanity towards her. He wasn't angry. He kept his composure. All right. And he said that, listen, the expectations that I had, and you broke every one of them. Even and although she broke all of them, he was still willing to get to know her. But notice, ladies and gentlemen, she did not want to know this guy, to know what his stance on things, to know what is his expectation, to know, a little bit about the guy, how he grew up. Does he have brothers? Does he have sisters? I guess they might have spoken all about those things before. I'm just guessing. All right. But in an effort to get to know each other, she wasn't interested in that. She was just interested in going to a bougie place because she wanted to show that off to her fans. I don't know what kind of fan base she has, but it just goes to show the type of attitude that people have these days. Leave your comments below. Let us know what are your thoughts on this situation. And here are some lessons from the Cheesecake Factory. Do not allow women to disrespect you. Women, be appreciative of a guy who takes the time to carry you out anywhere to pick you up, right? He is protecting you by not allowing you to take a Uber or to stand and wait on a taxi to go somewhere, but he picked you up. That is protection, right? That is looking over you. And the fact that he carry you to a place, it shows that he is considering you and he is paying. He is paying it. Have guys these days, they're not going through that. So if you find a good guy, at least, because good men are hard to find, just in case you didn't know. She felt that she could have get that from anybody else. I doubt it. So leave your comments below, guys. Let me know what you think. This has been Pastor O'Neill Review Zone. Until next time, we meet again. And sorry we take so long to do a video. All right? So take care, everybody. Bye for now.